Everything's already recording.
I got it. Yeah.
Should be good.
Because I never stopped anything.
Hell yeah. Never stop.
All right.
Check. This mic's a little low.
No, maybe just your ears. The mic's good though.
Okay, good. Maybe it is my ears. There we go. All right. We can start now.
Go for it.
And
Another glorious morning. Makes me sick.
Good morning, my neighbors!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the
Ready Set Radio Show. Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning, wall. Morning, ceiling.
Welcome to another episode of the Ready Set Radio Show. Today I'm your host, The Beard. Floaty is on vacation. Damn him.
must be nice.
And he also took the list of funny isms to say about JDubz in the booth, so I don't have one of those either. But but welcome to this episode. What I do have, I think, is a stellar guest, my dude Travis.
Hello.
One of my most esteemed dudes. Have you ever been on a podcast before?
No, I have not. This is the very first time for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Busting cherries, dude. Love that. So yeah, Travis is a longtime friend. We played in bands together back in the day. Not the same band, but we shared stages a bunch. This is where I met you. Yeah, and a lot of good times came from there. But I imagine that the stuff you've graduated to like the level of bands doing stuff. And while you're not playing anymore, you're doing some pretty crazy lighting stuff. I got to see you do it live once, and there's a lot more into it than I ever would have known.
Yeah, it's time-consuming, but kind of fairly rewarding.
When did you learn?
When did I learn?
Yeah.
It's kind of a long story. Whenever you and I were playing in bands together, I had a roommate, and he was also in a third adjacent band, and they always practiced in the garage, and I heard their music all the time. And eventually, they were doing a show at Tremont, rest in peace, in Charlotte.
I miss that place.
And he was like, why don't you come do lights for us? And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And he was like, you'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And so I went and did their show, just kind of clicking buttons. And the manager at Tremont asked me if I wanted a job. And I was like, well, yeah, because at the time I was printing T-shirts for a living, and
yeah, I remember those days.
Not really like making enough scratch to get by. So I started like kind of moonlighting at Tremont, and when they closed, I moved to a Live Nation room at the Fillmore in Charlotte, and started kind of networking and like learning. Eventually, I got asked to go.
Good place to do that networking stuff too.
It was excellent. You just meet so many people through there. Eventually, I got asked to cover a tour for a band, and I kind of like rushed and self-taught myself a lot to like make that happen, and I kind of got the ball rolling as far as being on the road, and it's been going ever since.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool story, man.
So you literally just was like, oh God, I'm gonna start doing this, and just went home and started downloading stuff on the computer, trying to figure out how to do it.
Oh yeah.
I remember I asked you one time when you were like first figured it out, and I was like, how did you do this, dude? And you and I quote, I forced it.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I saw like an opportunity and like just grabbed it with both hands and just refused to let it go until it worked. And we're still in the
amen to that,
in the working part. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool because you've done some big stuff, man. Like, can you run through like a list of the names that we've all heard of before that you've worked with? That
sure. Let's see. I've done like Between the Buried and Me is kind of my buddy band. I spend a lot of time with those guys.
Yeah, they're from around here. They're hometown heroes.
Yeah, Winston Charlotte band. Going to Europe with them at the end of the month, and then I've done Periphery. They're rad guys that have got nothing but fun stories.
I was telling JDubz about a couple of them, and I was like, and there was a couple of really hardcore like prog bands that he went with that were like really. Like, it was really a lot to it, and I could never remember what ones they were. So Periphery was one of them, though, for sure.
And there was a British prog band named Haken, and
that was the other one.
And incredible guys, super cool music. And that's like that was like how I kind of got started, and then it kind of opened up a little bit from there. I did a tour with Suicide Boys a while back, and that wasn't my programming or my design, but it was kind of stepping in whenever their primary lighting director had had another obligation. I just kind of stepped in and took over his show. I've done Megadeth, did that a couple years back, and that was incredible. Just an absolutely amazing experience. Just loads of work, loads of responsibility, but like, that's how you learn. Like, you put yourself well outside of that comfort zone, and you just find out what you're actually capable of whenever the chips are down.
Sink or swim kind of deal. Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. And then my current show is Bullet for My Valentine. We've been doing 20 years of the Poison record.
That's a great record, dude.
It was awesome. It was
riff-tastic.
Yeah,
I love that record,
just
dude.
riff central in there. We did Europe, and then we did America, and then we did some festivals in Europe, and that's kind of winding down. They're looking to kind of get into the studio and work on some new music, and hopefully we'll pick back up on that next year. But yeah, it was really cool to do that, particularly whenever they were touring with Trivium, because I don't know, like probably the same as you. Like I grew up on those two records. Like, those were like foundational metalcore albums.
Absolutely.
It was so sick to like get to look at it in a different way. Like look at how to represent it on stage, and like how to kind of take the ideas in the music and visually represent them in a bunch of different ways. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah, that's not a way I would have ever thought to, like, until you started doing it. And then I came and saw you at, I think it was the Blind Tiger. Mm-hmm. And I don't even remember what band that was, but you did the light show on the fly. Like, you had programming for it, but you were like, my boy's here, I got to show off. Mm-hmm. And then I watched you do it on the fly, and you looked like a DJ, and because the movements you were making still went with the music, but it was the lights you were controlling instead of everything else. It was a wild experience, man. I've seen crazy light shows, but I've never seen what goes into making them happen up until that point.
Yeah, and it's a lot of programming, and a lot of like trying to think several steps ahead. I try really hard to make my shows flow and ways that kind of like make logical sense visually, because you'll see a lot of shows where.
Can you give me an example of what that might look like?
So like, let's say one of my biggest like pet peeves with watching a show is like, if you see a fixture that's on, snap into a different position. I do my very best to like hide that. So like, if I've got a row of spots, I'll have them kind of come down in a sweep, and they're with the tempo, they're beat matched, and then that will go away and they'll reset. And while that's happening, I'll bring in a second row of spots. So you never see it kind of like go like, whoop, and because it's distracting to the eye. And like, even if like the concert goer isn't paying attention to that, you still kind of register it subconsciously. Right. And like, so the cleaner you can make it, like the better it's going to come across in general. It's just so much more visually effective, and it can really it helps like constantly keep things fresh and make the show always feel like it's building, and like, it just has more substance that way, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Have you ever watched a band that didn't have lights?
A few times.
I have.
Well, actually catching the this last tour that you've been on, I would love to get your take the first time you saw Trivium and the big giant, like what I've been calling the Iron Maiden guy, pop up behind the scenes. Like, it was cool. Like, at first I couldn't make out what it was, and then the head popped up, and then the arm came out, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Huge.
Yeah,
that guy's huge.
What is it? What is that? Like a giant inflatable or something?
It's a giant inflatable, and it's like the I don't remember what the character is from the cover of it.
We'll just call him Iron Maiden guy.
But yeah, it's really cool. We stuffed that thing into as many rooms as we could, and their whole set is very like reminiscent of Maiden. You guys really grabbed that pretty well. Their designer, his name's Steve Stemek. Cowboy is what he goes by. Cowboy has a really good mind for that kind of aesthetic, like bring like kind of a fusion of like old school and new school vibes. He's a really cool guy.
Practical and CGI together.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love it when that's done well, because that really sells it when you can do them both together and make it. Yeah.
So they have their own lighting guy. You don't
Correct.
do the whole. Okay, I bet you were like, whew, when you saw that thing. Probably like, I have to work around that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they had Cowboy, and then I was doing Bullet, and then in Europe we had an opening band called Orbit Culture. And yeah, they're so sick.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, they had a guy. His name's Jimmy. He works. He owns, I believe he owns, or he's a partner in a design company called Illumity Design. A little shout out for him.
Oh, nice.
And
It's awfully close to Illuminati. Just saying.
well, we only think about that here. They don't think about that so much in Europe. But Jimmy's great. And then in America we had August Burns Red as
those are good dudes too.
Again, they were one of the opening bands.
Yeah.
Amazing. I was so glad I got to see them.
Yeah, they're sick. They're such nice guys. Honestly, like
They really are.
one of the sweetest groups of individuals I've ever encountered on the road. They're so kind.
Totally threw me off with the System of a Down cover.
Yeah.
Totally threw me off with
Kicks
that.
in 3/4 of the way through. Yeah. Very good.
So you like it?
Yeah, I do. It's it's not really something that I thought I was going to do with my life, if that makes sense. It just
Absolutely.
Like I said earlier, it just kind of happened to me, and I like it though. It's I found it to be. It's really fun to get out and like see places and meet people, and just like I've seen a lot more of the world than I genuinely have any right to have seen at this point.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
That's one hell of a way to put that.
So how is your experience working with bands in the U.S. and then going overseas? And what type of troubles do you find overseas that you don't necessarily have, or do you have here?
Well, I guess the good thing is that like the concert build and like flow of the day experience is pretty well standardized. It's largely the same no matter where you go. There's like some power differences, like we have 60 hertz power here in Europe, and they run 50 hertz. So like there's some conversion stuff that has to happen, but largely that happens before I ever even get on a plane. I've already like talked to the lighting vendor and just been like, this is what I need, and they're like, cool, this is how we're gonna do it, and I go great, and then just show up and
So it's not even all that complicated.
No, I don't really have to think about it too much outside of that initial like point of contact. Just being like, this is the show that we're trying to build, and then like that's the great thing about like lighting rental houses is that they do so many things that they're willing to like. They can look at a plan that I present and just like break it down immediately and be like, cool, well, this is how we'll do A, B, C, and D, and then they fire it back to me. I get it approved, and then we just move on.
So you don't even carry your own lighting. You outsource to rental companies.
Yeah, like
that's genius.
By and large.
Well, yeah. It's just another piece of the whole puzzle that like unless you're the guy, you just don't even ever realize that's how things work.
Yeah.
You know.
I would say that like 80% of bands are like they'll have someone that designs their show, and then the actual physical like fixtures and everything comes from a rental house, because it's so much more cost effective, and it's easier to like update your show year after year if you're not purchasing things to have permanently.
See, I can see this being a double-edged sword, because you're getting equipment that you've never worked with before. You don't know who worked with it before you. You don't know how it's been treated. You don't know how old it is. Like, does that ever come into the equation?
One of the vendors, well, like usually the vendors that I use are like kind of worldwide lighting houses, and so as things go out on tours, they'll get roughed up a little bit, and they come back, and then the first thing that the shop does is strip them and refresh them and get them like back to 100%, and that way it's just they're show ready.
It makes so much. It seems to me like the whole idea of that working that way makes the industry work just that much better.
Yeah,
because it takes all like everybody's got their own piece of the burden, and it just works.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
It's very helpful. And like I said, like I've seen some bands will buy like some stuff, like generally you buy your backdrop, or like with Trivium, they purchased their inflatables, so they own that, and they own a few of like they had like these like
the specific custom kind of shit.
Correct. Yeah. Right. It's like stuff that wouldn't be refreshable through a house.
Nice.
But yeah, by and large, like as far as just like actual lights and like rigging and truss, that's I'd say 90% of the time it's rented.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, it cuts down on transporting it, especially going overseas and stuff like that. Then you have customs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I can totally see how that just makes more sense.
Yeah, if you really think about it, I don't know that it would work any other way.
I mean, there are some bands that do own everything. There are bands that own their entire like lighting package, their entire like their their backline package. I know bands that own their tour bus, but
That's got to be like Metallica level stuff,
But
though,
like
right?
Slipknot owns a whole nother gigging set overseas. Like they don't even bring like they already have it in storage over in Europe. So when they go to Europe, they just get their stuff from storage and then start touring.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, there's
I wonder business wise, do you think that's better for Slipknot?
Yeah, I think that whenever you're like a massive global band like that, I mean, I don't know anything about the Slipknot camp, so I can't really speak a whole lot there, but I think that if you can put yourself in a position to have an A rig and a B rig, or just 2 A rigs is probably what their situation is,
while also maintaining them the way that the lighting wholesaler rental company does. Yeah, that's. I guess if you've got the capital to make it happen on your own, there's got to be some benefit to that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's expensive to ship things overseas. It's expensive to get things across the Atlantic to Europe, and like you end up. Excuse me. You end up with a lot of like carnet costs and just like customs fees, like you were saying a minute ago.
Yeah.
Where like it can become prohibitive after a point in time. So if you can split that load and just own it and point A and point B, then you're definitely saving some cash.
Cool. That's good to know. When we become a major touring act.
In our next life.
Yeah. Nice. Well played. So enough of the technical, man. Tell me, we all want to hear the stories, man. Tell us a good story.
Let's see. So I was at Red Rocks Amphitheater a couple years back.
Shout out to Red Rocks. Yeah. It's like, if there's one, there's bands that I want to see. Of course, everybody's got a band they want to see. Mm-hmm. But who has ever thought that there's a specific venue that I want to go see a band at, let alone not caring about what band it is? Red Rocks is the only one to me.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. Like I've kind of put myself into a position where I every year as they announce their concert calendar around like October, I just go ahead and scan it. I'm just like, which one do I want to go to? And I do my very best to go to one out there every year. I haven't really missed one since 2019, barring like 2020 with
well,
COVID,
yeah.
But,
So real fast, do you ever take your credentials and try to get in shows for free?
Oh no, it just wouldn't
I would.
work. They've got cred checklists posted backstage everywhere for security with like every potential pass for that day, and if you show the wrong pass, they just turn you away.
But the reason I bring that up is because I have a buddy that I won't mention his name, but he used to work like a decade ago at our Coliseum in Greensboro. Mm-hmm. And he kept the event jacket, and now whenever there's an event, he just puts it on and walks in.
Yeah, dude.
Nobody ever checks him. He's just, hey, what's going on?
It's like the clipboard theory, where if you walk into any place in the world with a clipboard and like
enough confidence, dude, you'll get through.
Yeah, I'm here to check on the fluffernutter, and they're good to go.
I swear to God, it would work at 95% of places, dude.
I think some people have tested it, and it's pretty wild, their success rate.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you ain't getting into Area 51 that way, but like you could get into a show.
You have to Naruto run to get in.
Yeah, nice.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take us off topic.
No, that was a good one. That was a good one.
So I'm at Red Rocks, and it's like my very first time doing a gig there, and like I'm not nervous because like I feel pretty good about like my capability at that point, and so like we've done the build. I've already checked everything. We're like good to go, and I'm like backstage and catering, and my lighting tech comes up to me and goes, hey man, we're having trouble getting network connection from front of house, which is where my lighting console lives, to the stage. And I'm like, well, we didn't have that problem earlier. What's going on? And I like look, and we're like 10 minutes before like downbeat, before our show starts.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh, well, I guess we should go sort this out. So we go out there, and sure enough, there's just no network connection. And I've got some folks that are above me that are trying to tell me what it is, and I'm like trying to sort it, and I'm like on the radio, and I'm in a microphone, and we're all just like trying to figure it out, and so pressure is kind of like mounting minute over minute, and I see like some of like the production heads getting a little sweaty and a little anxious, and I am also anxious at this point, to be honest with you. I've kind of like reached that point of, oh fuck.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
Oh, no, no, no,
And so we're digging through this thing, and now we're 3 minutes to downbeat, and I get further into the system settings. I'm looking at my network rack, and I realized that what's happened is so there's two protocols that send data for that send data for lighting. There's there's three. You can hardline copper, which goes directly to the fixtures. You can use what's called ArtNet, which is an IP-based. It's an IP-based system which generally will control lighting or video, and then there's streaming ACN. I try to use streaming ACN all the time because it's easy to broadcast with it. You can just hit all your fixtures at once from your breakout node. But what had happened was the IPs for the ArtNet node, which was controlling our video content, and the ACN node had been swapped at some point. So I don't really know how that happened, but we got it swapped, and then we had a show within the last 2.5 minutes of potential fix time. It was one of those where you're just holy shit.
Down to the wire.
Yeah. It was that was a little stressful moment.
Yeah.
But I've had I didn't mean to lead with a kind of negative story, but I've had some really just incredible moments out on the road.
Well, I mean, how does that story not be the one that sticks out in your mind for the amount of
that's in there
of
forever.
What you're going through? Oh no.
Yeah, I think about that all the time.
How many people were in the crowd for that show?
That was a sold out Red Rock show, so 7,500 or so.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I'd be
man.
sweating too, bro.
Yeah, dude.
It was definitely a moment.
Yeah.
We had earlier this year. We had a day off 2 days off in Lisbon, Portugal, and I discovered that
Lisbon, Portugal. Time out real quick before you get to this story. How many passports have you gone through?
I'm actually about to jump into my second passport.
Okay, he's got stamps on stamps on stamps on stamps, dude.
Kind of absurd. I actually don't know where my passport is right now, which is probably going to become an issue for me in the
I just gave you anxiety, didn't
I? Stressed me out just a little bit. But yeah, I've got enough space left to get through my next European tour, and then I have to order one before I go out of country again because it'll be rammed. But I'm gonna try to keep it, maybe frame it. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, so we're in Lisbon, Portugal, and I discovered that the drum tech on this tour was a big motorcycle guy, and and he's a big Triumph guy, and I'm a big Triumph guy, and so we're discussing how could we get on some motorcycles on this day off, and so we ended up flying into Lisbon the evening before the rest of the camp, going out and renting bikes, and then we went to the hotel, parked them in the garage. And the following day, we were we're going to go out, we're going to ride up the coast, we're going to see what there is to be seen. And everybody went to bed, and I'm in this hotel room, and I'm bored. I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do? And I was like, well, I have a motorcycle, so I'm going to do that. So I threw on the gear, and it
seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was, the more I thought about it, the more obvious it was. So I threw on the gear, and I took off, and what I didn't realize upon taking off is that my phone was going to die. And I rode for probably 45 minutes out into the hills in Lisbon, and it was beautiful. It was pitch black, couldn't see anything. And I looked down after navigating for about that 3/4 of an hour, and my phone just turned off. And I was like, oh, well, I'm lost.
I am now lost.
In a strange city, in a strange country, on a motorcycle.
I don't speak a bit of Portuguese.
And there's people waiting on you.
There was no one out, because by that point it was 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. It was dead. But yeah, I was just completely lost. So I saw a hill, and I was like, if I get to the top of that hill, I can probably figure out where the city is and make my way back there. So I got to the top of the hill, and I couldn't see fucking anything. So
it just dug himself deeper into the hole.
Yeah, so I thought about it for a minute. I was like, well, there's another slightly taller hill. Maybe I'll go to that one. And then it started to rain. And, so I made my way to the top of the second hill, and I saw the glow of Lisbon from the underside of the clouds, and was like, cool, I need to go that way. And so I made my way down the hill, and I'm following these roads, and then the road just stopped. It was like a concrete like barrier across the whole thing, and like on my right was like a sheer wall, and then on my left was a second sheer wall in the opposite direction. And so I just kind of stood there for a moment. Was like, I don't know how I'm going to get back to the hotel, dude.
I live here now.
Yeah, I live on the side of this little mountain in Lisbon. But so I like got around that and like made my way back, and it was all fine. But yeah, that little like hour and a half of like being actually lost was definitely.
That's enough to put you in a panic mode.
I wasn't panicking.
I said it was enough. I didn't say you did.
It's a small island. You can figure it out. But I was like, I don't want to be out riding a bike until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Then the following day, we got up and there was like a group of 4 of us.
How did you just skip over the part where you made it back to Lisbon?
I told you how. I just followed the light on the clouds. I got there. I had to turn around, and then I had to turn around like 3 more times. But I did figure it out. The signage isn't bilingual there, so I was just like looking for Lisboa and like figured it out. It took some time, but I think I got in. I left, like I said, around 8:30. Got back to the hotel around like 1 a.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, Travis is smarter than your average bear.
Just more determined, I think. I don't know. I think that's really what I've found is if you're just like in all things, if you're just fucking determined, if you're just willing to just like go and just like put forth the effort and in like every capacity that you can find, you can make stuff happen.
Kind of like this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I look around and this is the high effort spot.
It's great. Dude, it's a lot of time and effort has been put into this whole operation.
I believe it.
Yeah, we have a good time though too. Yeah,
that's the important part.
Yeah. So like I know this isn't like the 80s and glam metal isn't like the biggest thing and bottles of whiskey don't like populate on the stage all the time like they used to, but there's got to be some debauchery that's happened that you can like look, I can't tell you any names, but like there was this one time at band camp that
let's see. Well, that's a little harder for me because like most of the bands that I tour with are like straight edge vegans. And
the world has definitely changed. That's for sure.
I mean, you spend enough time in prog world, and like everybody around you becomes vegan, and eventually you become vegan.
Yeah.
And you just become a part. You just get assimilated. Because I found veganism to be kind of like the Borg, where
that's hilarious.
I love it. I mean, I don't know, I've been vegan for 5 years now.
Yeah, I can imagine that it's helpful. Digestively on the road.
Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah,
so much better. Just a 10 out of 10. I just feel good every day.
Yeah.
There's like, I don't know. Occasionally, groups from tours will go out and hit bars, and then it becomes like loud drunken karaoke. I've seen a lot of bands, like some of the not prog bands will have like shots of whiskey on stage with them. But debauchery is kind of few and far between. I usually will do that myself. If I find myself in like a place like there's some cities in Canada or like the Netherlands where you can buy like mushrooms or truffles, and I'll like buy a bunch of mushrooms or truffles, go eat them in my hotel room, and then go wander the streets. And
that's a good time, bro.
Wander the streets.
Yeah, I mean, you don't pick a destination, you just go look at stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is not life advice, but
it's not for everybody.
And like, sometimes you don't even.
Good morning.
Yeah, you don't even remember that you took.
You're like, what's wrong with me?
You're just like, what the fuck is going on? It can get really strange. But then you just play video games.
That was the best timing of the X-Files button ever, dude. That was amazing. I love that. JDubz, man, you're getting a high five today for that one, dude.
I appreciate it.
I have to tip him out.
Well, let's get back on stuff we can actually air on our podcast.
Yeah, because we're not trying to document crimes against the state here,
and remember that was for entertainment purposes only. Entertainment purposes only.
Indeed,
not legal nor life advice.
Yeah, no, not at all. But it works for some people.
Unless you're in the state of Colorado.
Yeah, and that, I'm always in the state of Colorado.
So lighting.
Yeah, lighting's done well for you though, dude. It's gotten you around the world. It's gotten you some toys. It's gotten you a lifestyle that fits you better than anything I could think of.
Well, I appreciate that you noticed that.
Yeah. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not. I found it to be, it's a very positive experience. Like by and large, like I found that most bands and most crew are some of like the most focused, clever people that you're ever going to come across. Everyone knows, particularly in crew world, everyone knows what their job is.
Yeah.
They're all problem solvers.
And you don't make it to that level without being a certain level of determined.
Right. And you don't get there if you're someone that can't particularly recognize a problem early and be proactive to solve that problem before it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
That's something that always impresses me with guys, especially like audio engineers. I'm not an audio engineer. I'm like a layman. I can do like the cabling. I can do the routing. I can't really mix you a show unless someone was like, you have to do this or the world's going to end. I could make sound, but like audio engineers, like that might as well be magic. Like the way that they can recognize like, oh, this they get in and then go.
Yeah. Mr. Jason is that guy.
Yeah. There you go.
And I kind of wish he was here. Because like he's that guy for audio, you're that guy for lighting, and it just would have been cool to have you meet because he's kind of like you in a couple ways.
Speaking of which, should we go ahead and drop that?
Drop what?
Got sound?
Nice.
You know that feeling you get when you smell your first cup of coffee in the morning? It smells like success, like a cheat code for life. Well, that's the feeling you get when you gig with Grind and Brew Productions. Grind and Brew Productions. Sounds so good you can taste it.
So, I have a question. Did you have any dealings with Blue Ridge?
I actually did. I was a part of the last. I guess this would have been 20. Yeah, this would have been 23. My day there and the band that I was with was canceled.
Yeah.
And we were, we showed up. We were ready to do a show. We got we achieved our load in. I did my lighting programming, got the focus in, and then it stormed really hard.
Yeah, we were there. We showed up Thursday, and we were there ground zero the whole time, man. That was some of the craziest experience.
I believe that.
Actually, speaking of what we were speaking of a minute ago, me and my buddy just got finished.
Yeah.
And the clouds started to turn, and he was like, I wonder if I can make the weather change. And as soon as he did that, man, all of that weather rolled in. It was literally raining sideways.
Dude, yeah, it was strong.
It was crazy.
I had that was the end of that tour. I had rented a car and like stayed at home for the 3 days prior, and then drove up because I was just like, well, whenever we're done, they don't have to fly me. I can just drive home. And like that storm rolled up, and I was like, I'm just going to go into the car and just waited it out. Yeah, very strong storms, and even after that cleared up, and they went on to like I guess postpone or cancel. I don't remember the terminology that they used.
Yeah.
We were collectively we were bummed out because we weren't doing a show. Kind of personally, in my little heart of hearts, I was like, yeah, I get to go home early.
You're right.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a weird one.
So what were you like in the midst? Because you hadn't made it there. You never made it there, did you?
Oh yeah, we were there. We were
there.
We were fully prepped. We were ready to do a gig.
What were you guys hearing from the other camps? Because I watched, of course, being there and seeing firsthand the experiences that all the crews were having because they didn't have the flatbeds they were supposed to. Mm-hmm. They didn't have the forklifts they were supposed to. And then on top of that, all of their event staff literally quitting on them.
Yeah.
What were you hearing firsthand from the camps in the back?
I feel like I didn't talk to any of the other band camps that day. I was very I don't know. Whenever I'm on a gig, especially a festival, I'm very like kind of single-minded, focused. Just I want my show to happen. And I did talk to some of like the local crew, the hands and the local techs for sound and light, and they're being as professional as they can, and there's kind of they're hinting that things have gone awry, and generally, if people are even making hints in that direction, it means that stuff's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, we're just going to get through the day, and mine's going to be really easy. I just have we're not flying anything for my band. We're just gonna I'm just gonna program, and then we're gonna move on. Then I'll come back later. We'll do a show. And we only got to the program and move on before they axed the whole thing.
Can you say what band you were working with him?
With that one, I'm gonna have to skip it.
Ooh, I like it when he's like, I
say it,
can't say the name. I don't want to say the name.
Yeah.
That's fine. We don't want you to say the name, but we like the mystery.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it sucked that the show didn't happen, and it sucked that festival was doomed.
It's like they made too many bad calls right in a row for it to work.
Sometimes that can happen, and like stuff like that can snowball quickly.
Yeah. And it did.
Yeah,
it did very fast.
Yeah, and it's like once that first domino has fallen,
it's not even completely out of malice on any one person's part, but like when you've got that many moving pieces and that many people involved, and we humans, man, we will fuck up something.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like
especially ourselves.
Yeah, I would hate to be like a festival promoter, because it's such a gargantuan undertaking. Like the thing that I tell people all the time on tour when they're like, why don't you move into like stage management or production management? And I'm like, my guy, if I wanted a job it's more like, I don't want any job that ends with M. I don't want to be SM. I don't want to be TM. I don't want to be PM. I don't want to manage anything. I don't want to manage anything. I want to manage me. I don't want to manage those lights. And I just want to stay directly in my lane.
Yeah.
I don't want the stress. And
it'll get you far, bro.
Yeah.
It'll get you far.
And I think that...
I think it already has.
I need like the creative outlet.
Yeah,
I get really bored if I'm.
Believe me, we understand. Have you seen this place?
Yeah. So like you need that kind of like. It makes me feel like attached to the show. It makes me feel like I'm like doing something that like makes a difference, even if it's a small difference.
Yeah.
It's just like if I can
matters.
Yeah,
something that matters.
If I can like design a show and like program a show that enhances the concert going experience for even like 3 people, then it was totally worth it. Because like if somebody can like see the gig and just be like, that was sick, then it's just like, yeah, dude, that's why I want to do this. Like I want to have my creative outlet, and I want to like make stuff that looks cool. That's like the bottom line for me.
I feel that. I wish there was like one thing that I could glom onto and just like beat it to death in the dirt. You know what I mean? Like I need variety too much, and it just like I couldn't deal with one thing like that. I would like to go on tour and like one day be the guitarist, one day be the singer, one day be the lighting guy, one day be in a roadie. Like I just need the kind of variety that comes with that.
What I've found,
and then some days I don't want to go tour at all.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the longer I do it, I have more of those days.
Yeah, it's a beautiful lifestyle, but it's just not meant to be all the time.
I think that like 6 weeks is my limit. Like if you're talking about like a 7 or 8 week tour, I'm just kind of like, oh no. Because like right around the 6 week mark, there's like this little shift that happens. Everybody gets tired around the same time, and then they'll start being a little more like curt with each other, and that's when you start seeing like tensions within camps and like between camps.
That's when human nature hits a certain limit, and it just like turns.
It's like, bro, I've seen you every day for 6 weeks.
You're still here.
You sleep 3 feet away from me on this land submarine. we could just reach out and hold hands all night if we wanted to.
But I don't. Get away from me.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that honestly, man, like the variety with like touring doesn't come from like your job necessarily, even though like there is variety day to day, particularly on like club tours when you're not carrying like a giant lighting rig, you're just carrying like a ground package.
Right.
Like every day's a little different because every venue's a little different, and like they're different dimensions of the stage, different ways you're going to program it, different fixtures, different stuff you can kind of like mix in and out. So,
but when you're on a Coliseum tour, everything's the same because every stage is the same because you're bringing your own stage.
Yeah, you bring the stage, you bring the lights, you bring the PA, you bring everything, and so you like that can get a little monotonous, and like particularly with like arenas, like hockey arenas, they're never near anything, dude. You're always just like you're in the middle of like you're on the outskirts by the industrial district of whatever city you're in.
Yeah.
And it's like if you want to go somewhere, you have to get an Uber for 20 minutes, and it's like, well, I don't really want to do that with my 3-hour break that I get every day.
Right.
So you just like you see a Coliseum.
Get pizza delivered.
Yeah, or just go to catering.
Catering. I forgot you're on that high level stuff.
Catering's sick.
Yeah, that's what we said when we got pizza delivered. He's batting 1,000 with them buttons today, dude.
Killing the game.
Nailed it.
So, do you have anything coming up that you're really stoked for?
Well, I am. Like I said, I'm going to Europe at the end of the month. That's gonna be a good time. That's with Between the Buried and Me, and they're like the buddy band at this point. Like everybody in that band, we've worked together since I started with them.
How many tours have you done with them?
Oh, dude.
So like you're their lighting guy.
I mean, not necessarily their lighting guy particularly. Like there's some guys that kind of rotate in and out.
But you're one of those few?
I'm one of those few. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
They have a guy named Chris, and he's been with them for just over a decade now. And he and I kind of like collaborate on design and programming.
Nice.
And if he's got another gig that he's doing and I've got another gig that I'm doing, then we design and program, then we send out an operator for it, which has been a pretty good way to go about it. And like it's nice that that the band is like.
I was going to say the band must be happy with you guys to have that work out for you so well.
So. They're really cool guys. Like genuinely, like it's like Beachy Bam and ABR are like in constant competition for like the nicest folks in the world.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's sick. So I'm looking forward to doing Europe with them. That'll be a bunch of festivals and a few one-offs, and I think there's like a Mastodon support in there, which would be great.
Yeah.
Mastodon's one of my favorites.
Heck yeah.
That'd be like a dream gig for me.
Nice.
That would be A+.
Oh
Yeah.
So do you guys have a budget? Like, do you have like? Are you told the budget, or do you go to them and be like, "Hey, this is what
I
we're trying to
imagine
pull
like
off," and
budget's like the second thing they talk about after they're like, "Hey, you want to be our lighting guy?"
Yes. Yeah, I usually it's like one of the first things I ask. It's just like, cool. Well, what's the budget? What are we working with as far as like rental budget? Like, what's your your invoicing budget for me? Stuff like that. And like, do you have a programming budget? Or like, there's I have to ask like a billion different budget questions, and then like it'll get whittled down and it'll change and it'll shift, and you're always trying to give bands the most show for the least money.
Could you tell us what the biggest number you've ever worked with is?
I literally could not, because I don't remember.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, like, one of the things that happens to me a lot is that a band will have like a designer, and they will have already gone through like, this is what the stage is going to look like, this is what the lighting setup is going to be, this is like what we're going to fly, this is what we're going to have in the ground,
Right.
And that sometimes things go wrong, and like that individual is replaced, and that's when I get the call, and I come in and I program a show with their existing rig that's already been like advanced.
So you're like those middle management guys from Office Space that come in and just like.
I think about it more like the pinch hitter.
Okay. All right.
I'm the guy
Right.
that like rolls up and goes, yeah, we can still make a show with the 1 month that you've given me.
Yeah.
And we make
the lighting guy fixer.
Yeah, basically.
I respect the hell out of that, dude.
Yeah, I think that like
Being a fixer ain't easy. I respect the hell out of
it's
that.
not, and it means that you have to be willing to just like drop whatever you're doing at home and go get on a plane.
Big sacrifices. Yeah.
There was a particular instance last year where a band that I had worked with in the past was having they were having a change of personnel, and they called me, and it was a tour manager that I'm very friendly with, and he's such a great guy. He called me and was like, "Trav, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm just sitting on my couch watching movies. What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm calling you to ask if you can get on a flight in 9 hours." And I said, "Well, yeah."
Did you buy the ticket yet, or?
He'd already bought the ticket, like because he knew I was going to say yes.
Yeah.
And so
Because you're that dude.
Yeah. And so he called me. I said yes. I got on a plane, and the very next day we were doing a show halfway across the country, and I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting at whenever I talk about like, don't panic, don't let like the pressure of like get to you. Just like just be ready to show up.
I get it, dude. You're a QRT. I get it.
I don't. What is that?
Quick response, Travis.
Oh,
Nice. I'm glad you laughed at that, to be honest. I wasn't sure how that was going to go over.
I didn't know what that acronym was at all. It could have been anything.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, no, it's not that kind of podcast. So like, all right, we're getting close on time, but there's a couple of things like I want to still pry out of you if I can. Like, there's got to be that first story you gave us can't be like the most memorable negative thing that you've had happen. Like, has there been any? Like, is there somebody you just like you met that you just don't get along with, or like, what's like? Give us something juicy.
So I'm doing a tour with. I'm gonna leave
Cold open. I love that.
I'm gonna leave all the names out. So I was doing this tour with a metal band, and because I'm sure everybody's noticed that metal's my wheelhouse.
Yeah, metal and prog, we know.
Yeah. So I'm doing a tour with a metal band, and they have this photographer, and like, you know, there's always got to be communication between lighting and photography. You know,
they go hand in hand.
Yeah,
you can't have one without the other.
And I'm like aware of that, and I'm like receptive to that, and like every photographer I've ever worked with, except for one, has been like super like welcoming. There's like, because usually they've been with the band for a while. Like, photographers spend loads of times with the band. And they know what the band likes. They know like how the moment should look, and so but they also are more often than not like receptive to like the moments that I'm trying to build within my show.
Right.
And so so there's always like a little bit of give and take. And I had one particular photographer that was like, we would start the show and then he would come up to me and start giving me notes. And I'm like, my guy, this is not the time to give me notes like during a show. Like, we need to talk about this before the show or after the show. You can be like, hey, you know, during like the third song, we want a little bit more front light for the band. But instead of like that tactic, he would just come up to me and be like, I need more front light. And it's like, dude, I'm not going to give it to you because you're yelling at me.
Yeah.
And so that kind of situation was...
Honey and vinegar, my dude. Come on now.
That was happening like every day. And so we get to an off day, and this was like a shared hotel room for the off days, like basically just a shower room. We've got the bus, everybody's like going out on the town.
Yeah.
So we've got like a room to go shower in. I'm like going up to the shower room. I'd just woken up. I was like still all shot, still like wiping my eyes and whatnot. And I get there, and this dude had just like straight up dominated this bathroom.
Your use of words right there is humorous.
Like, I knew it, like the second that the door cracked open, I was like,
I don't know if the camera caught it right there, but his lip quivered a little bit.
So like, I don't know, like in my mind, and in like a lot of folks' mind, like a shared hotel room it's
a common space, dude. You're sharing it.
And like every hotel in the world has a lobby bathroom. If you've got to destroy a room, go destroy that one.
Yeah.
Or at least give a courtesy flush.
Nothing, dude. And like, so he's on his way out, and we'd already had like a little bit of beef going, and so like he walks by me on the way out, and I was just like, hey, dude, you should probably use the lobby restroom for that kind of thing, because everybody has to use this space, and no one wants to smell that. And he immediately like turned on me and got like super aggressive, and by that point I had so much like, I don't know, animosity
pent up. Like,
I was just like, and I was just like, cool, let's do this right here in this Holiday Inn.
Oh man!
And so I'm like, we're like face to face in this hallway, straight up screaming at each other. And then I like see over his shoulder the tour manager pop out of the elevator, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna get so much worse now. And I was just like, you know what, dude, fuck it, and just like went into the room and locked the door. And I heard the tour manager, like, who had already clocked it and was kind of like on my side for how like the shows had been going.
Yeah.
Like kind of dress him down a little bit. But like, yeah, like that's probably the most like aggressive story I have, is as far as just like people that I don't get along with.
This close to like it being full on.
Yeah, that was seconds from disaster.
Oh
man.
my God.
Seconds from disaster.
My blood, it's pumping now.
I hated it.
I'm ready to go.
hated it so much. But yeah, but then I never spoke to that guy again. I see him every now and then at festivals, and we just kind of go our separate ways. We don't even acknowledge that we exist.
Yeah, I don't know your name, guy, but fuck you.
I do know his name, and still fuck him.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like that. The only real question that I had left that we haven't gotten to is how awesome is it to be a part of this sort of creative endeavor where you don't have to promote yourself, like on social media as like a creator of sorts. Like we've done the band thing before, and we know the legwork that goes into that, and how awesome is it to do something that doesn't require that kind of legwork?
Well, I'm not going to say that it doesn't require it.
Well, I mean, you got a network to be able to get the jobs, and I get that,
yeah,
but
I just choose to not do that. I don't like I don't like advertising myself. I've made it this far by letting the work speak for itself.
Yeah.
And I try really hard for that to just be the case. Like I want people that know what they're looking at as far as like band's crew and management to like see what I'm doing and go, that's the guy that I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to like be a pervasive Instagram ad in somebody's life where it's like Travis does lighting. I don't like that. That's
yeah, I mean, we're here doing a podcast, but I don't like it either.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just talking to my friends, so that's fine with me. But yeah, I mean, it is excellent, man, to like not have to think about like, oh, how am I gonna like put this portfolio up? How am I gonna like support this website? How am I gonna like,
got to worry about your numbers and
I hated that. I hated that so much whenever I was like in bands, and if I like chose to like do another band project, I would hate it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool to like have a group of people out there that are like also in the industry that like know that they can call me and I will give them 110%. I will like that show becomes my sole focus until it's over.
You are Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, I really like. I want that to be the takeaway whenever people like encounter me and people like see my gig or like see me work through the day. Just be like, yeah, if you call that guy, the job is going to get done and it's going to work.
Yeah,
and
I relate to that.
Yeah, it's I feel like it's like really the only way to be, because like people don't remember an ad, people don't remember a Facebook page, people don't remember like an Instagram story, but people remember interacting with you. They remember how you made them feel, and they remember
things getting done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I relate to that so hard, dude.
Yeah, you gotta make people feel good, dude. You gotta make them feel heard.
Yeah,
and
it goes a long way, dude. Long way. Honey and vinegar,
Exactly.
Yeah. Now I do have a one more question. If someone was looking that has been wanting to get into this type of field, into that type of lifestyle, as far as lighting, staging, stage hands, what all,
touring,
yeah, that type of thing. What? There's not like a website or something like that to go to, but how would one go about trying to find a career in this?
There's a lot of different paths in. I genuinely, I got lucky, like legitimately. I met the right person at the right time, and I said, I answered.
Said the right thing.
Yeah, I answered the questions the right way, and just like, I feel personally like I was very fortunate. And as far as like a structured path that one can take, I mean, you can start like, a lot of guys I know started as stagehands, and that way you learn like how a load-in works. You learn like where power is going to go. You learn where data is going to go. And if you spend some time as a stagehand, then you can decide, I want to specialize in like stage management. I want to specialize in lighting. I want to specialize in audio. And like you start moving into those teams in that world as a stagehand and learning, and just like you spend your downtime like looking up stuff, looking up tutorial videos. How do I mix? How does digital multiplex work? How does like ArtNet work? How does ACN work? What's Grand Amaze like? What's Ava Lights like? You start just cultivating knowledge in the area that you want to go into, and you make yourself as sharp as you can on your own. That way, whenever the opportunity does show for someone to be like, "Hey, we need a punter today for this band," you can go, "I can do that."
Yeah,
and you can step in.
That's just the long form answer of saying take the initiative.
Yeah, it's all. This whole industry is
the entire entertainment industry is built on taking the initiative.
It's completely initiative based. It's like take initiative. Like have good results and don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't make the same mistake over and over again and think you're getting somewhere. Like it doesn't work that way. But like if you have half a brain and you take the initiative, then you can make it
for sure
somewhere
for sure
in the industry for sure.
You see guys that maybe their mix isn't the best mix, or maybe their lighting show isn't the best lighting show.
But there's a reason why they're working.
Exactly. They're nice people. They're a good hang, and everyone wants to hang out with you if you're a good hang. Everyone people will bring you back if you do a terrible job if you're a good hang, because it sucks to
being on the road for 6-8 weeks with somebody who's a terrible hang.
And it sucks to get rid of someone that's a terrible hang and like go through the process of like vetting people and just be like, oh, you know, is the next person on the list, do they suck? Are they nice? You know,
it's just proof at the end of the day it's who you know and whether or not they want to know you.
Exactly. But to I guess really succinctly answer your question, it's like pick a discipline, lighting, audio, whatever it is, and video, I guess. I don't ever talk about video because I don't believe in it.
There's an argument there.
After you watching us try and get these cameras together before we started this episode, I really feel like it's not fair you said that.
But
fired!
But yeah, dude, pick a discipline.
He is still batting 1,000 over there, dude.
Pick a discipline and lock into it and be like, I know that for me it was like, oh, I'm going to do lighting. This is what's opening itself up to me. These are the doors I can see that I can go through. Pick a discipline, learn as much as you can, and just start talking to people. Just be like, oh, you do lighting? I do lighting. Let's talk about programming. Let's talk about live shows. Let's talk about design. If you can, get into a venue as a house guy. Start networking with touring guys that come through. Don't punish them. Don't be like, hey, dude, I really want to go on tour. I really want to go on tour. Just talk to people and just show that you're open to learning and you want to see where this path can take you. And I think
I think one of the most powerful tools when it comes to networking is kind of what you touched on right there. It's networking isn't about what they can do for you. Networking is about what you can do for them.
For sure.
And if you figure out how to network based on what you can do for them, then people will think about you when it's time to do something for you.
Yeah.
That's
exactly how I got my very first tour was I was the house guy at the venue, and I always was a hard worker. Like, if we're bringing in a ground package, I'm like making sure here's where your power is, here's where your data nodes are, you know, here's how you're going to get stuff in front of house, here's your patch sheet, do you need anything else? And they're like, oh, we're going to set up these lights on these pipes.
Hey, I don't even know his name, but that guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Is he available?
Exactly. And we talked about bands that we toured with, and that individual happened to tour with a band that I really liked. Yeah. And I was like, oh, those guys are rad. And we blah, blah, blah about that. And then he was like, well, let me take your information.
Not for nothing, but this is exactly how you and I met.
Exactly.
It's the same thing, dude.
It's a tried and true tactic. just be nice, be helpful, and just don't expect anything in return.
Yeah, that's words to live by right there, dude.
If you don't expect anything, you're never disappointed.
Indeed. I think that's a hell of a place to end the episode. JDubz, what do you got?
I think that sounds good to me.
Hell yeah. Travis, thank you for coming, my dude.
Thanks, buddy. We appreciate you.
Super awesome seeing you. It's been too long.
It's been way too long.
If I'm not mistaken, and I might be, I clocked it. It's been about 2.5 years.
I think so. Yeah,
something like that, dude.
So it's been entirely too long.
Yeah, and you're a hardworking dude, just like you got done telling me, because you're always on tour.
Yeah,
and you hit me up every once in a while when you buy a toy, and you're like, "Hey, was this irresponsible?" Also, I'm here for 3 days.
Yep, that's how we ended up here. I was like, "Look at this toy I bought," and I know that one was irresponsible. And I was like, "Well, I'm here until Thursday."
Yeah,
and so
I was like, I just so happen need a guest on the podcast.
Somebody in the seat over here.
Hell yeah, because Floaty was going to be gone. I didn't know Mr. Jason wasn't going to be here. That ended up being a last minute thing. But yeah, it worked out really well, and I hope it works out like this a little more often.
Yeah, I love that.
It would be dope. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, JDubz, if you're done,
I'm good.
We're done, dude. We'll see you guys. We'll do the same thing 7 days from now. 7 days from now.
That's it.
See you then.
Oh, wrong button.
That's how you end the podcast right there.